Right, I think it's fair to say after, was it 4 months since Football Manager 26 came out, I think now is a good time to have a little check in and give it a little bit of a review. This one's going to be a little bit loose and more talky than most episodes. I haven't really got a script for this one, where I usually have scripts or just gameplay footage, but FM26 was definitely a rebuild year. Transition to the Unity engine. It's definitely brought some better visuals, but it's come at a cost. And the cost is bugs, features, a controversial UI, a couple of people having performance issues. For many people, it can feel console-fied. For a lot of people, that have played the game before, it can feel immersion excluding. I don't know if that's the right word, but did have quite a good thing when we came back to Football Manager after the year break. Switched to the Unity engine, finally modernised the graphics, the animations, the lightings, the stadiums look so much better than FM24. I went back, even watching the Streamer Showdown that Dr. Benji and a couple of the creators did. It's unexplainable how big the jump is in graphics. Like in the UI, it looks better. I'm just going from base skin to base skin, but it just looks so much better. I mean, the colors aren't great, but the old skins were so grey and dull, and even though the colors are a little bit waning, I wish you could alter them, but it was just so much better. And just like, we don't appreciate how good it is because our standards are so high when it comes to the likes of AAA games, the likes of Cyberpunk, the likes of EA Sports FC. But for what's supposed to be 1 year, which ended up turning into 2, this game is way better. Sorry, got hiccups. Alright, hopefully that's the worst thing than gone. The massive gap in time, that's going to be annoying now, but the massive gap in quality between FM24 and FM26, you don't appreciate until you go back, and it's really quite a difference. Then there's women's football, a completely new bunch of leagues in a new challenge, a new transfer market, new tactics. This is getting really annoying, and just a new database. And for those who aren't that included on women's football, right, I think that's the worst thing I've got now. But the massive difference from FM24 to FM26, you don't realise until you go back. Great, they're back. Talking about going back. And then adding women's football was so good for me, especially who's kind of into women's football loosely, but not having the most knowledge of it. The fact that they've got new database, new challenges, new transfer market, like the way you can't just throw money at the club in the same way you would do with the men's club, because the income just isn't there, even at the top level. The fact that we even have the full Premier League license with kits, logos, add full names for the Premier League, one of the, if not the biggest league on Football Manager, was just great. For me, who doesn't really play in the Premier League too much, it's not big of an issue, but for a lot of players that is, which is a lot better than just downloading mod packs, which, I mean, it's not the end of the world if you have to download mod packs, but for the people that aren't on PC, that's probably a bigger deal for me who's on PC. After that is the tactical freedom. I love the in and out possession tactics. It's probably the most genuine improvement we've had in quite a few years. Just the fact that we can create shapes and just so much good stuff that we couldn't do before, but we had the console-fied UI, which was probably the biggest thing that people moan about. People feel like it's built for tablets or computers rather than PC, mouse and keyboard. I think a lot of the wasted space is due to I can't remember what it's called exactly, but that it doesn't adjust to different monitors this year, which I hope they've come for next year. And they've got better, but the amount of clicks it takes to do simple tasks is definitely a lot lower. And with just a lot of things not added back to the game, a couple of the features that just weren't that good, like shouts were gone for ages, deadline days gone, international management's gone for a while, the social media feed is gone, the news is almost hidden. We've only got pass maps in yesterday. It was just the fact that this game has been out 4 months and we've finally got pass maps, and just like, Football Manager is a game built on data, and data that was like a one click away, and it just didn't have it. Like, immersion's been a big problem for people. Just like, even like the team talks and media interactions are all the same. There's a couple more options, but it's just really annoying. There is quite a few early days of the optimization and bugs. Like, when they released the game, it was still a buggy mess. Although, for a good game, it was so buggy, and the fact that it's 4 months into the game and they're still fixing bugs, which, although you can kind of praise for fixing bugs, because a lot of companies wouldn't do that, but it's got to a point where it feels like they didn't test the game properly. Like, it needed a bit more time. Also, the match engine has a couple of quirks. The defensive AI was just useless for the first couple of weeks. The fact that they had to patch fullbacks twice. The fact that some goalkeepers just are useless. But for new players and existing players, this is probably a decent entry point. Streamlined UI, even though it is a bit chunky and a little bit simplified, makes it a lot more. My body really doesn't want me to make this video. Just had a coughing fit as well. That's not great. Anyway, back to it. I think even though with the UI it's very simplified, less overwhelming for new players. Like, there were so many people that looked at FM24, FM23, even going back. It just looked like a wall of information. Even though the older players love the wall of information, the base game was so bad on FM24. And when they bring skins in, I think people will love FM26. Still got its issues, but maybe FM27 is the game people are actually going to like. For veterans, they're probably going to stick with FM24, unless you're definitely desperate to play with the updated squads, women's database, or just Premier League license. I guess most of them you can just download anyway, but I think the game is enjoyable now. Like, it shouldn't take until February for the game to be enjoyable. And honestly, the best thing about the game is it still has that Football Manager feel. It's still a good game at a base level, but it's not a good Football Manager, if that makes sense. And it's such a weird place to be in. Even the mods that people are doing, although I'm not particularly one to do it, I do have reshade because the colour saturation is still a bit off. The fact that there's so much things that could be added to this game to make it better, but hopefully between now and FM27 they'll all be better. And I think people reacted badly to FM26. But if FM27 is more of the same, then I think that's where Sports Interactive really have a problem. But from their reaction to FM26, although a little bit slow, if anything, and probably shouldn't have been an issue in the first place, they have been listening to people, and Sports Interactive aren't the best at talking to people in a broad sense, but I think it's definitely going in the right way somewhere down the line. But anyway, before my body wants to get up again, I'm going to end this video here. That was my little bit of a review. If you're thinking about whether to buy it, there is go on Steam, there is a demo you can play. You can't do transfers, I think. You can't do some stuff, but you can get a good fight for the game, and just whether your PC can run it, because it is a little bit of an upgrade in specs wise. But anyway, if you got to this point in the video, like and comment what your favourite bit of the game or least favourite bit of the game, if you're still playing the game. Thank you guys for watching, and my throat's going already. I'll see you guys later.